Welcome to Us Crazy Christians. I'm your host, William E. Smith. Today, we're going to talk about the servant mentality. Stick around. Why do so many of us crazy Christians, continually ask God who to marry, where to work, where to live, what to do for a career? Is it possible that this comes from a servant mentality? Maybe we think that's okay because we see so many niggas in the Bible do it. But first of all, that stuff you reading is over 4,000 years old. Should we really be doing what dudes was doing 4,000 years ago today? The children of Israel were newly freed slaves who were continually in and out of slavery with different nations. So they had a slavery mentality. That's why if you read the scriptures, God was always trying to get close to them, have an intimate personal relationship with the children of Israel. But they always pushed God back and wanted some intermediary of Moses, Aaron, the judges, anything, idols, anything that could be a wedge between them and God, something they can bow down to and serve, whereas God wanted a relationship. Secondly, Jesus said that all those who came before him and spoke about God, spoke of God with the wrong perspective. They saw him through a glass darkly. They only saw a shadow of God. Jesus says, I am the clear representation of God, and I call him Father, and Jesus instructed us to call him Father as well. That's a whole different dynamic. Yet we call ourselves crazy Christians, but we don't follow Christ. We follow the Bible and things the Old Testament teach. Think about it. We don't go to our fathers and ask them what they want us to be when we grow up. Our daddy asks us. We don't go to our daddies and ask permission to marry so-and-so. We go tell daddy the good news. We introduce our mate to daddy. We don't go ask our daddy if it's okay to move into this apartment or that house. We invite daddy over for the housewarming. Maybe we have the wrong impression of God. Maybe we're too busy living like slaves of God as opposed to sons and daughters of God. If the slavery mentality explains so clearly why the children of Israel would always call God master and themselves servant or slave, maybe that explains why the black church does that 100 times more often and more regularly than the white church. If you go to a white church, you might find some calling God master, Lord, and themselves servants or slaves. But most of the time, they call him daddy, father. But the black church, with our servant mentality from years of slavery, it's almost natural for us to say, we slaves of God, servants of God. Maybe God just want to be our daddy. Maybe he just created us to be sons and daughters. That's what the scripture says. Try that relationship out. Test it. See. Play with it a little bit. See which one feels better. Which one feels more natural, more normal, more joyous. We say we love God. We say we adore God. But really, can any servant truly love his master? Can any slave truly embrace his master with true love and compassion? But imagine yourself as a son or daughter and as God as your daddy. Try to hug him then. I just want your relationship to be more happy. I've lived as the servant in the army of the Lord for the majority of my life. As a servant, as a slave, asking God who to marry, what church to do, what job to go to, what I want to be in my life. If God want me in ministry, even if I don't want to be, so what? It doesn't matter what I want. I live that servant life. Reading my Bible, studying all day. How's that helping me out really right now? Fasting and snotting and praying all day, spiritual warfare. What did that really get me? I could have just went after the things I loved. I'd probably be rich right now. Famous, rich, doing stuff I love all over the world, blessing people for real, instead of just talking about it. I just want to show you that maybe we're looking at God all wrong. Maybe God is more loving, kind, and compassionate than we previously imagined. I did a video called Servant versus Son, which digs into scripture and goes a little more detail about this subject using the Bible scriptures. And I'll attach a link to that video at the end of this one. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you're a returning guest and haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's free. Plus, hit the notifications bell to be notified every time we post a new video. Thanks for watching Us Crazy Christians. Until next time, be blessed.